Stick around to the very end of this story, because it's going to mend something in your own heart, I promise. If this story touches you, please give it a like and subscribe to Stories That Mend. It truly helps us bring more tales of connection and redemption to you. The biting wind whipped strands of 7-year-old Lily's hair across her tear-streaked face as she huddled on the cold park bench. Her small, pink jacket offered little defense against the late afternoon chill, and the fading sunlight cast long, lonely shadows that seemed to stretch out just for her. Each sob that escaped her lips was a silent plea, unheard in the vast, indifferent expanse of the park. It had been hours since her father, Michael, had dropped her off at her friend Emily's house for a playdate. Only, Emily wasn't home. Her parents, busy with an unexpected emergency, had kindly told Lily they had to leave, assuming Michael would be back any minute. But he hadn't been. Now, the park, usually bustling with laughter and shouts, was eerily quiet. "She's all alone, Daddy," she'd whispered to herself, a choked-back cry that echoed only in her own small world. Michael, meanwhile, was oblivious. The divorce from Lily's mother, Clara, had been messy, leaving a gaping wound in their family and an even larger one in his relationship with his daughter. He'd thrown himself into work, using the long hours as a shield against the guilt and loneliness. He genuinely believed he was doing his best, providing for Lily, even if it meant less time with her. Today, a critical client meeting had run late, then another call came in, then a brief, celebratory drink with colleagues. Each step further distanced him from the forgotten promise of picking up his daughter. He checked his watch, a fleeting thought of Lily crossing his mind, but quickly dismissed it. Emily's parents were responsible, weren't they? He'd pick her up before dinner. As dusk began to settle, painting the sky in hues of bruised purple and orange, Lily's fear intensified. The swings, once a source of joy, now loomed like skeletal giants. The slide, usually inviting, looked like a dark tunnel. Every rustle of leaves sounded like a monster, every distant car horn like an approaching threat. Her small fingers clutched a worn teddy bear, Mr. Snuggles, her only comfort. She tried to remember her mother's phone number, but her mind, clouded with panic, drew a blank. All she knew was the gnawing ache in her stomach and the overwhelming sense of abandonment. "She's all alone, Daddy," she wailed softly, the words finally breaking free, though no one was there to hear them. Back in his sterile, well-appointed apartment, Michael finally glanced at his phone. Dozens of missed calls. From Clara, from Emily's parents. His heart seized. A cold dread seeped into his bones as he listened to a frantic voicemail from Clara. "Michael, where is Lily? Emily's parents said you never picked her up. They had to leave hours ago. She's all alone, Michael. She's at the park, they think." The words hit him like a physical blow. "She's all alone, Daddy." The imaginary echo of Lily's cry pierced through the fog of his self-absorption. He didn't remember grabbing his keys, or stumbling down the stairs. The drive to the park was a blur of traffic and frantic prayers. His mind raced, replaying every missed call, every time he'd prioritized work over his daughter. He saw her face, so bright and trusting, now undoubtedly consumed by fear. The weight of his neglect pressed down on him, suffocating him. He was a father, but had he truly been a parent? The question burned, raw and undeniable. When he finally skidded to a halt at the park entrance, the moon was a sliver in the sky, and the streetlights cast a dim, yellow glow. The park was deserted. Panic tightened its icy grip. "Lily," he shouted, his voice hoarse. He ran towards the playground, his eyes scanning every shadow, every corner. And then he saw her. A tiny, crumpled figure on the bench, Mr. Snuggles clutched tight, her head buried in her knees. He approached slowly, his chest aching with a mixture of relief and profound shame. He knelt before her, his voice barely a whisper. "Lily Bug, it's Daddy." She flinched, then slowly raised her head. Her eyes, red and swollen, met his. In that moment, he saw not just fear, but a deep, heartbreaking betrayal. "Daddy," her voice was a fragile thread. "I was all alone." The words, simple yet devastating, tore through him. He reached out, pulling her into a tight embrace, burying his face in her hair. He felt her small body tremble against him, and the dam inside him broke. Tears, hot and heavy, streamed down his face. "Oh, Lily," he choked out. "I am so sorry. I am so sorry." That night, back in Lily's familiar bed, Michael held her hand until she finally drifted off to sleep, exhausted from her ordeal. He stayed there, watching her peaceful face, a silent vow forming in his heart. He called Clara, his voice thick with emotion, apologizing profusely. He promised to do better, not just for Lily, but for himself. The next morning, he made immediate changes. He rearranged his work schedule, blocked out time for Lily time, and started a new routine of school drop-offs and dinner together. He enrolled Lily in a dance class she'd always wanted to try and took her to the museum every Saturday, listening intently as she chattered about dinosaurs and ancient civilizations. He started reading her bedtime stories again, something they hadn't done since before the divorce. It wasn't an instant fix. Trust, once broken, takes time to rebuild. There were moments of hesitation in Lily's eyes, quiet tests of his commitment. But Michael was steadfast. He showed up, every single time. He listened. He apologized when he slipped, and he made amends. Slowly, imperceptibly at first, the light returned to Lily's eyes. Her laughter became more frequent, more genuine. The tight grip on Mr. Snuggles lessened, replaced by a confident hold on her father's hand. One sunny afternoon, a few months later, as they walked hand in hand through that very same park, Lily squeezed his hand and looked up at him with a wide, unburdened smile. "You always come back now, Daddy," she said, her voice filled with a simple, profound truth. Michael looked down at her, his heart swelling with a love so immense it almost hurt. He knew he could never erase the terrible night, but he could fill every day after it with presence, with love, with unwavering commitment. He had learned that being a father wasn't just about providing, it was about being there, truly there, for the small, vulnerable heart that called him Daddy. And he vowed, with every fiber of his being, that Lily would never be all alone again. This story of Michael and Lily reminds us all that life can throw us curveballs, and sometimes, in the chaos, we lose sight of what truly matters. But it's never too late to mend those broken connections, to choose presence over distraction, and to fight for the love that defines us. If this journey resonated with you, if it sparked a realization or mended a piece of your own heart, please hit that like button and subscribe to Stories That Mend. Your support helps us share more tales of hope, healing, and the power of human connection. Thank you for watching.